very hard. I love drama. So, okay, well, what's the drama? What's the drama that I did? Somebody gotta tell me. What is the drama? Tell me what is the drama? What is the drama? All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. And I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared and I was alone.
Tamar Braxton, are you okay? Clearly not. Tamar is now revealing that she is canceling the album release and she's going to be stepping down from the public eye.
Tamar Braxton woke up asking, what's the drama? But tonight the internet is whispering one answer. It's you, sis. Because in just a few wild days, we've watched a near-death scare, shocking injuries, a friend dragged into the storm, a steamy teaser with a surprise love interest, an album suddenly scrapped, and a family that looks more fractured than ever. And now the rumor mill says Toni Braxton herself may be stepping in with tough love. Before we dive into the receipts, secrets, and the mess no one's saying out loud, do me a favor, like this video, drop a quick comment with your take, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next twist.
Sorry, Tay.
Alright, let's rewind the tape. Tamar tells fans she was found in a pool of blood, barely able to speak, with a fractured nose and missing teeth after an incident she can't remember. The timeline gets murky, the details are dramatic, and the story snowballs across socials. That's when friends, foes, and former allies start chiming in. Why does every single chapter of Tamar's life come packaged like a season finale cliffhanger? Because the hits keep coming, the rumors keep multiplying, and the family tea is piping hot. The deeper you look, the more the puzzle starts to look like a publicity Rorschach test. Is it trauma? Is it tactics? Or is it both at the same time? Here's where the plot thickens. Funky Deneva says he got ate up alive online after fans decided he was somehow part of the mystery. According to him, he and Tamar were out the night before the incident, but he went home alone and learned about her injuries from social media like the rest of us. Meanwhile, the comment sections explode. The finger-pointing intensifies, and Funky insists Tamar watched the chatter spiral and didn't shut it down. In that silence, accusations multiply. Is he collateral damage in a media storm? Or did Tamar simply freeze while recovering from something terrifying?
Okay, so I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story. A, because of my family. B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people to tell my story.
The internet chooses sides faster than a Stan war. One camp says let the woman heal. The other says this smells like a rollout. That push and pull is exactly why the story won't die. Then came the twist that had everyone gasping. After the accident headlines, Tamar drops a cinematic teaser for a new EP called Heartbreak Retrograde. Mendeces Harris is cast as the love interest in what looks like a mini-movie. Fans pounce immediately. Was this shot before the scare or after? Is the timing coincidental or calculated? And why Mendeces of all people? The rumor blogs were already buzzing about their chemistry at that Atlanta lounge. Those flirty visuals, that hand-on-hip energy that looked more like method acting than a friendly cameo. Pair a mysterious almost died post with glossy heartbreak visuals, and suddenly you have the perfect storm for 1,000 think pieces. Some swear Tamar's using real pain to frame a comeback. Others say she's finally channeling heartbreak into art. Still, the optics are chaotic. Headlines about injuries on Tuesday, silhouette kisses on Wednesday, and by Thursday, a fandom divided over whether this is healing or hustling. And then the disappearing act. In a comment that ricocheted across timelines, Tamar declares there's no more album. She apologizes for everything and vows to vanish to her farm so the public will never hear from her again. It's the kind of message that sends alarm bells through any fan base. Is this a genuine break for mental health, or is it the oldest showbiz pivot in the book? Pull back, stoke concern, return triumphant. Look closely at the pattern. Tamar has a history of stepping away when things get too loud. There's always a moment where the spotlight gets unbearable and she reaches for the off switch. But here's the catch. The more extreme the exit, the more intense the echo. The internet isn't a door you close, it's a window that keeps reflecting your shape back at you. Say you're gone forever, and the trending page will ask why forever. Silence often screams louder than a press tour. Family dynamics make everything messier. Remember the counseling scenes with the sisters? That tension with Tawanda? The feeling that Tamar believes she's reaching out more than she's being reached for? Those sessions look like progress on camera, but behind the scenes the wounds keep reopening. And when Toni plays the calm center, people assume she's neutral. But neutrality in a family crisis looks like strategy. The Braxtons know TV, they know timing. They know how editing can turn a sigh into a storyline. So when whispers say Toni is done watching The Spiral and ready to stage a reset, it feels plausible, because it fits the pattern. When the house starts burning, Big Sister usually grabs the extinguisher, whether that's a wellness retreat, a mandatory timeout, or something as serious as inpatient treatment. The point is control. Restore order, get ahead of the season. Because if the cameras are rolling, you either own your narrative or you become someone else's plot twist. Scroll back to last year's emotional posts, where Tamar called the family toxic. She said she needed to go back into treatment. She hinted that reality TV was ripping at the seams of her personal life. Add in the breakup waves, the "I don't feel safe anywhere" robbery caption, the deactivations that never seem to stick, and you start to see the cycle. She's been open about her mental health battles before. She's also been caught in the treadmill of reality TV, where private pain is repackaged as public content. That contradiction is exhausting. One minute you're sharing to survive, the next minute you're sharing to sell. Then comes the backlash for not sharing enough, or for sharing the wrong way. It's a lose-lose treadmill disguised as a stage. And when you're a Braxton, the family brand adds another layer of pressure. Every post becomes a referendum on loyalty and trauma. Now comes the most uncomfortable chapter. Tamar has been pushing for her niece Ashley's voice to be heard. Ashley's serious claims about inappropriate behavior in the past and how the family handled it. On air and off air, this storyline refuses to stay quiet. It divides viewers because it asks a brutal question. Do you protect the brand or do you protect the truth? If Ashley speaks, someone gets hurt. If she stays silent, someone stays hurt. Tamar's stance that too much has been swept under the rug puts her on one side of a family fault line. Tie that to fights over who gets to appear on the show and whose version gets airtime, and you've got a powder keg. When personal pain meets public platform, not everyone signs the release form. And the more Tamar insists the story needs daylight, the more the rest of the family braces for impact. That's when the intervention whispers start. The internet buzzes that Toni is done and ready to call the shots, even if that means dragging Tamar into a facility to force a break. Picture the scene: a family sit down, a quiet vote, professionals waiting in the wings. A plan that looks less like a girls' trip and more like a medical intake. Is it confirmed? No. Is it believable? Absolutely. Because history says when Tamar spirals, someone throws a rope. Toni's image is calm, classy, controlled. Letting her little sister be swallowed alive by chaos is not on brand. If the whispers are even half true, this isn't punishment, it's protection. The goal isn't to silence Tamar, it's to stabilize her, to stop the river from pulling her downstream while the world watches with popcorn and pitchforks. Here's the wild card no one wants to admit. Tamar's gift is the same thing that keeps her in trouble. She does not do lukewarm. She loves big. She fights big. She posts big. And she rebounds big. That intensity makes hits, headlines, and haters all at once. When a woman who lives at 100 tries to be quiet at 10, the silence feels like a scream. So even when she says no more album, fans start betting on when she'll be back. The industry knows the pattern too. Pain becomes pen. Pen becomes performance. Performance becomes paycheck. It's the oldest story in fame. We break our stars, then we beg for their comeback tour. The danger is when the comeback clock starts ticking before the healing does. If this is a rollout, it's ruthless. If this is a breakdown, it's heartbreaking. If it's both, it's why nobody can look away. All roads lead to a decision point. If Toni really is stepping in, the next chapter could be off-grid. 30 days of rest, therapy, no Wi-Fi, followed by a slow return that looks grounded and calm, or imagine the opposite. Tamar doubles down. She drops the EP on schedule. She turns the rumors into visuals. She dares everyone to separate the art from the apocalypse. Either way, the family brand is on the line. The fan base is exhausted, and the blogs are locked in. If you're rooting for Tamar, your best-case scenario is boring. Boring is healing. Boring is boundaries. But boring is the one thing celebrity rarely allows. If anyone can make it happen, it's Toni. Sister first, star second. The question is whether Tamar will let anyone else hold the wheel long enough to steer her out of the skid. So where does that leave us tonight? With a woman who says she almost died, a friend who says he got blindsided, a teaser that says love hurts, a comment that says goodbye, and a family that looks like it's bracing for impact. Maybe this is the season where ratings don't matter? Maybe this is where we see the difference between a publicity stunt and an actual turning point. Because the truth is, Tamar doesn't owe the internet a single detail. What she owes herself is peace, privacy, and a plan that doesn't turn every cry for help into content. If the whispers are right, Toni's plan might finally give her that. If the whispers are wrong, the internet will invent a new plan by morning. Either way, the next move belongs to Tamar, and the quiet she chooses will tell us everything the captions can't. But here's where the speculation gets darker. The whispers that Tamar might be using her breakdowns as bargaining chips. When the Braxton show needs buzz, Tamar's chaos suddenly takes center stage. When her music stalls, cryptic posts erupt across the timeline. Coincidence? Or is she subconsciously trading peace for relevance? The industry has a long history of stars weaponizing pain. But the cruel twist is the more you do it, the less the public believes you. Fans are split. Half are begging for her to get real help. The other half swear every meltdown is scripted better than a TV finale. And somewhere in between is Tamar herself, caught in the exhausting cycle of trying to heal while being accused of hustling. It's a lose-lose game. The stakes are her reputation, her relationships, and maybe her sanity. Every rumor that goes unchecked leaves a scar deeper than the last. And don't think the industry sharks aren't circling. Labels, producers, and reality TV execs all know Tamar's name equals clicks, streams, and cash. So while fans worry, insiders are allegedly whispering whether her storm is marketable. That's the cold truth of fame. Your breakdown becomes someone else's rollout plan. The Braxtons know it, Tamar knows it, and Toni definitely knows it. Which is why the whispers of Toni stepping in feel heavier than gossip. They feel like survival. If Tamar doesn't get off this roller coaster, someone else will keep selling tickets to the ride. And that's the ugliest part of Hollywood. It doesn't care if you crash, as long as the crash is televised. Maybe this is Toni's line in the sand. Maybe this is the intervention that finally cuts through the noise. Because if Tamar doesn't find silence now, the next sound we hear could be the final act nobody wanted to watch.